I'm just going to give it a few minutes for everybody to get in. Can you guys hear me? You can use the YouTube chat. Sweet. I'm just waiting for some more people to join in, make sure everybody's got the notification. Okay. So what up? What up? Had a great day, man. 5 out of 5 on the watch list hit. So I'm gonna go into do like a little bit of preaching first, and then jump into the technical analysis, and then I'll do some questions at the end. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about was trading your plan. So my watch list serves up ideas, right? But if you don't necessarily trade my strategy or trade like me, you'll most likely get stopped out, right? And I've kind of been seeing that in the chat a little bit. Like, unfortunately, my watch list, it doesn't work for everybody because each person is different. There's a reason why I don't swing trade, because I haven't been profitable long-term swing trading. But then you've got guys like Warren Buffett, who hold for 4 years or 20 years and they make a killing off of it. So your trading style is dependent upon your personality, right? So if you're continuously seeing losses off of trades you're taking off of my watch list, then one of two things is happening. Either you're trading it wrong, or maybe it just doesn't fit your style of trading. And I'm only saying this because I don't want people taking constant losses based on a watch list that they don't understand how to trade. I mean, the goal here is to teach you guys
what I look for in a stock when I'm doing my technical analysis. So that's kind of like why I wanted to do this whole thing tonight on live. So I'm just going to go right down the list on the watch list. The first one was Lyft. I was leaning short. I was leaning short biased on this. So I always do my analysis on the 1-day chart first, and then I'll jump into like the 5-minute chart, the smaller time frames, and break it down from there. But just from the 1-day chart, so the first thing that I noticed is that we had like this double top right here. And patterns don't always have to be, they don't always have to be horizontal, but we like came up, hit this level, came down, hit this level. And ignore this candle, right? Because I didn't see this yesterday. So what I had seen was that these candles were like kind of consolidating, like we came up making highs, but like we were curling down. So I was looking to short this thing. And when I jumped in on the 5-minute chart, what really alerted me to shorting this was that yesterday we had this close up here, right? 64.75, but after hours we fell down to $64. We can see pretty clearly that Lyft is like a range. It's a very range trading stock. So here it's trading from 62.50 to like 61.50 here in this range, breaks out, and then again starts range trading from 65.50 to about 64. So what I was looking for on the short side when I had seen that this had fallen to 64 was I wanted to take this short and fill this gap right here. That's what I was really looking for on this play. Unfortunately, we didn't get a move that big. I think it was partially due to the volume. Like we can see here on this breakout day, like look at this volume, right? Compared to today. Like this is nothing compared to the day that it broke out. So I just think that we didn't get the volume in, but nonetheless, those were my levels. So just based off of this range trading, 65.50, we were going to take it long, break below 64 here, we were going to take it short, and that's exactly what we did. I mean, this was enough of a short here for you to take profits on, to take about 20% or so off of. Roku, ROKU. This was the next one. This was the next one that I was looking at. I was really leaning neutral biased on Roku. We had this breakout yesterday, just above these levels, and we actually caught this breakout, which was fantastic. My levels for a long on this was a break above these highs, and I'll go into where my short level, why it was at 111 today. Once I jump into the 5-minute candles. But typically what you see when you have a breakout like this, so like we tested, came down, tested, broke out, and when you break out, like either you're going to make new highs or you're going to want to come back down and like test for another level of support, right? Like some old resistance becomes new support. So, I mean, it's still a possibility that we come down this far, but I think we found support like right off of this candle somehow. So where is it? 111. Yeah, 111 was my short level. And you're like, well, what are you pulling that off of? What are you pulling that off of? The only thing I have to go off of right here is the day before. So this is like an ABCD pattern, right? We came up A, B, C, D, breakout. And as soon as we hit this breakout, look at the volume that we had on this breakout. And that is like telling me that level where this breakout happened is a significant level. And if we look, I'm going to draw a line right there. This level is right at 111. Okay, so that's why I pulled that level right there for the short. Something else to notice, this goes back to like my preaching phase on this stock. You have to wait for confirmation on these candles. This first candle came down and broke below 111, had you taken a short on this, it went right back up and closed up here, and it could have went higher, but you would have gotten stopped out on this if you'd taken it there. So like the objective, right, is to wait for the candles to close below. You could argue, okay, that closed below 110.88, but like, I mean, let's be realistic. Like, wait for some confirmation before you just go jumping in. If anything, like you jump in here, this pulls up. That's not that bad. You can hold through that. And you see, like when it finally did on this candle, broke that short level at 111, broke below, consolidated, and then what we do? We came back up and tested the support as resistance. And then from there we just came down, and it was so this purple line, this is VWAP. From there we just came up, tested VWAP, tested VWAP, tested VWAP 3 times, rejected by VWAP, and Netflix earnings um, brought it down after close today. Qualcomm. This one, this one was a little bit different. So I included a from a technical standpoint, this was looking ripe to me, because we came up, we had this run up, we came down, we found support, we were consolidating, started to curl up again, and before so keep in mind I couldn't see this candle, right? So I was like, oh, this looks great to take it long, because we take this long, we're going to go back up and test these levels. Well, what I did after looking at it on the 1-day chart, I jumped in on the 5-minute chart, and I saw that we had whatever it was, the antitrust news that shot this thing way up, and I was like, oh god, there goes my plan to take this thing long for tomorrow. And I was kind of like writing it off, and I actually put it on the watch list that my long level was right here at 80.80, along above 80.80. I changed that after I put out the watch list. But I put out the watch list pretty early, like I don't know what time, but like whenever I changed it, it was because I saw. So we came up and we pulled back, and I said, I even put it in chat that you could take this long off the open, because um, because we built that profit margin. We came up, came down, so then we had a profit margin to the top side, about $1.50 or so. And remember, I actually took this trade. I was still leaning long biased on this, and I kind of got, I don't know if I got lucky or what, but I got filled right at the bottom of this candle. So I took it long off the bottom of this candle at, I think my contracts were like 84 cents at the time. It shot up. I was up like 22%. I sold half at 107, and I was watching this thing on the 1 minute too. I saw that we had like shot up. We were curling, curling, curling. I saw this and I was like, all right, this is not the price action that I wanted. Like this thing, if it was gonna go to the long side, like it should have ripped. And so I got out. I exited my full position here. And then we had this sell off for the rest of the day. So I told you my long level already. I'll go into the short level. The short level was what was it? Short at 78. Yeah, it was a short at 78. And again, you're asking like, well, what are you pulling 78 off of? Where do you get that number from? You got to go back, man. You got to go back to the 1-day chart. The only thing that I can pull a 78 off of, that right there. We had a gap up here, right? Twice. This was kind of like a level of support, and we came down, gapped down right below it, gapped up. Like we're teetering around this level. Like this is a semi-important level. The only other time this was like probably not enough evidence for me to claim that as a short level. The only other time that it played with this level was this big breakout candle here. Like it came up, like these are just like regular candles, right? Nothing big, and then boom, breakout right at the 78 level. So that's 1, 2, 3 times, and that's where I pulled my short level from. MDB. MDB, the big winner of the day. I really like this stock. The options chain is expensive sometimes. So looking at the 1-day chart, I don't think that this was an A+ setup, but it was definitely something that I liked. Right off the rip, I noticed the double bottom right here and right here. See, if I have to draw it out, I will, but that's what I saw. And then I was looking for that move there, and we got it. But you can't really rely on patterns, just one pattern. So on top of that, you see this green line here? That is the 50, that's the 50 EMA. And if we're just looking at this thing historically, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, we've bounced 5 times off of this 50 EMA, just riding this 50 EMA. And this candle here yesterday closed just above the 50 EMA. So my short level was a short at 150. Yeah, it was a short at 150, a break. So I figured a break below 150, below this 50 EMA was going to send this thing down. But of course, with it being confirmed as support, I was leaning long on this stock. So my long level for this was a break above 154. I don't know. It's just kind of easy for me to identify, support, well, resistance here, support here, and we got shot down there. So we did. We broke out here, and I think that was what, a $7.77 move. To me, I really like this because the risk to reward ratio is really good on this. There was a greater chance that it was going to go high, that it was going to go long. That there was a greater chance it was going to go higher than it was going to go down, just because this previously has been acting as a support. And the last one off the watch list was NVIDIA. This one I didn't have a bias on. I was really neutral when I put it on the watch list, and I almost didn't include it because I like trying to find high probability setups. But the thing that interested me about NVIDIA was that I noticed it was mentioned a lot in social media. So like StockTwits, Twitter. I'd seen it in several different chat rooms. So I was like, okay, this thing's picking up a little bit of traction. I'm going to put it on the watch list and see what happens. So right here, I mean, just looking at this, we can tell that 168 this is the clear support and resistance line. And the short was 166. Yeah. So we'd had this like range trading a little bit. And actually my level for this was to take it because I was neutral on this stock. I didn't really have a whole lot I was going off of. I moved this long level. The long level should have been at 168. We would have had, because you see it broke 168, came down, tested it as support, and then went. But I moved it because I was unsure. I moved it up to 168.50 just to be sure. And I think that kind of messed with some people's profits today. But it still worked out. We still, when you still took this stock long, you would have just had to hold a little bit. I took this entry. So when it went up and it came down, I took an entry like right here, which wasn't the best because as soon as I took that entry, we shot down. And then I said, well, my stop level was 168, right? So I actually was waiting. I was about to get stopped out. And what is this? Like a 13-cent drop below right here. This like didn't fake me out. That's not like significant enough for me to get out of this trade. And then I saw this candle come in. So I added, my initial entry was here, came down, then I added on this candle. I think I sold like right here because what I noticed was that intraday intraday we had a double top forming. So like up, down, up, and I was cautious because I was looking for that big move down, and we never got it. We actually instead got like this weird, had like this weird triangle formation, and then like a breakout above of the triangle. But like there was no volume here. I think a big reason why this stock didn't go much higher today was because SPY, we had a red day on SPY. And so, like I said, SPY's it the general market sentiment, and it's hard to find buyers in a market for one that's already so high, and two, uh, when you're having a red day, people just you're not going long on anything when everything's coming down, right? So that's it. It's kind of short and sweet. I know you guys in Europe, it's like 3 a.m. for you, so I appreciate you tuning in to watch the live stream. Um, I spend I spend like a lot of time building these watch lists for you guys. I mean, like hours every day, and I mean, I love it. I don't mind it at all. But the thing is that I want you guys to like take away from this. I want you to actually learn from this and not just be blindly following calls and following trades. And I'm liking doing this because I'm seeing a lot more activity in the room. I'm seeing a lot more call outs in the room from you guys. And a lot of you are DMing me about stocks, which is great, fantastic. My inbox is always open. Um, I even told somebody today. I think I used the phrase, uh, "Give a man a fish, and he eats for a day, but teach a man to fish, and he'll eat forever." And so I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to teach you guys how to fish. Anyways, that's about it on the technical analysis. So I'll open up the floor to questions. I don't care if you guys use, whatever the off-topic chat, or you can use the YouTube chat box on the right. I got both of them pulled up. You're welcome, bro. Yeah. There's no secrets to what I do. I don't ever want to. I'm not trying to hide any. I'm not any type of special trader. There's nothing special that I do. I really want to teach it. It's just people. I don't think people like have developed a strategy. So if I can help you guys make money, then I'm all about it. Do I like the MACD indicator? Yeah. I'll answer that question. I don't actually use, if I'm being honest, I don't use the MACD or RSI like a whole lot. The only times, the only times that I'll look at the MACD is if the RSI is overextended. So like right here. Okay. It's like no good way to view this. I like using them in conjunction. So like I'll use, if the RSI is here, I'll look at the MACD. Okay, I don't see a signal crossover, no signal crossover, and I know it's delayed, but it's not until here that the RSI is like super low, and then we start to see the MACD curling up. So that's the way that I use it, and I always use it on the larger time frames too, the 1 day chart normally. I don't use it intraday at all. How long do you wait for the candle to close? 5 minutes. I wait for the 5 minute candle to close above or below the trigger level. Um, So right here, my short level on Roku was 111. This candle came down, this wick, right? It came down and broke below, but it broke below on the 1 minute time frame. It broke below right here. So 1, 2, 3. That's 3 minutes in. It broke below 4, 5, and we closed all the way up here. I don't want to. I don't want to take that short at on this candle just for us to close up here. That's a big fake out right there. That's and you guys that are under you guys that are under the PDT rule, if you take that trade, that sucks, man, because you just wasted a day trade. You don't know if this thing's going to keep going higher. I that's terrible. The PDT rule sucks for that reason. I mean, because if I see something going against me, I just like get out and then I flip the script. Like if I'm short on something and I'm wrong, I just get out and take it long and make money. But like you guys don't. I know you don't have that ability, so that's why I use the 5 minute candle for those trigger levels. Wait for that 5 minute candle to close below, and then if you want to be extra safe, like this is super close. This is like a 7 cents difference. Be super safe. Wait for this because you might have gotten faked out on that candle too. Wait for that death candle. That tells you right there that this thing's coming down. Do I have the 1 minute and 5 minute side by side? Yeah, sometimes. So I'll trade like this. It depends. I'm usually watching like 5 to 6 stocks at a time. But I have to set up my style for this. But yeah, so I have like the 1 minute and the 5 minute side by side. I'd look at it something like that. It would be great if you can explain in detail about waiting often. I might think of going short but instead wait for a while after breaking support and resistance or making the move. How do I deal with this situation? Oh, um, so you're okay. I see what you're saying, Joseph. So like your X level, it needs to be it needs to be a significant level. It needs to be like I'm just gonna go back to lift to explain this example. That it needs to be a strong level of support or resistance. It just can't be some like, well, let me delete this. But see, if you see this right here and you're like, okay, this is like a line of resistance. So I could take it long above this line of resistance. But you take it long, like that's what move is this? This is like a bit, you're not getting much profit off of that. And then it consolidates and then you're consolidating again, especially if you're in an option, like, dude, you're just burning premium until it breaks out. So instead, what you do is try to identify stronger levels of support and resistance. Give it a couple of days, like consolidate, like 1, 2 breakout, 1, 2 breakout. That's what you want to look for. So you want to wait for this day. Are your stops at 3% or do you just eyeball it based on support and resistance? My stop's at 10%. I try to stop out at 10% every time. I'm pretty good at doing that. Uh, I also don't enter a trade unless I have like a really strong confirmation, right? So like I don't know. I just wait until it's moving in my direction. You're welcome, Martin. Tran, thanks, man. Looking into IBM and eBay. Yeah, I said 10%. Looking into IBM and eBay for tomorrow's watch list. Okay. I personally wouldn't mess with this because because they had earnings and also like look at this thing like barely moves for me. if you're into like a slower moving stock, maybe this might be good. But like, this is why I wouldn't mess with it, because earnings, it went up and then it came down. So like, that just signals indecision to me. This thing could like bounce all around. eBay. eBay could be good. They had, I don't know what they reported, but just based off of this, it looks like they beat expectations or guidance or whatever. So where was that level? Brought it back up to 41. I mean, yeah, like some like days after earnings, sometimes they'll have a continuation day, or like they'll like dip off in the morning from people taking profits, and then they'll go. That's if you're looking into that, maybe that could be good. Thanks. So say it breaks one of those big levels and doesn't rip like you thought it would, but you entered already. The best thing to do is just exit. Absolutely. Absolutely. If it doesn't, well, depends on what kind of move you're expecting, right? Because each trade is different. But if it doesn't, so like that QCOM trade that I took today, it didn't rip how I expected it to. So rather than scaling out of my full position, or rather than scaling out of my position like I normally would have at like 20, 40, and 60%, I just exited. I just exited like the whole thing pretty quick. I think within 2 minutes I was out of my full position. One more. I'll take one more question or analysis or anything. So you mainly look at support and resistance. Yeah, yeah, mainly from a technical standpoint. Support, resistance, and patterns and indicators. I like my indicators. So something like on eBay, like if this came up and I happened to catch it right here, I would be like, okay, this to me would be like a high probability on this day. If I had seen this stock, I would have been like, this is a high probability chance to take this long because the 200 EMA is right below it. So, and then look at the next day. That's what I look for. That's like a support, right, and a resistance. Also, there was one day patterns on CMG. We had this, yeah, we had this bull flag right here. So this run up, this line of resistance across the top, and I think I called it out. I'm not sure which day. One of these 3 days, it made a huge move, made a big move, and I called it out because like it came up, came down, right? This is like the bull flag, this channel, and then like we broke above that and kept going up. Oh yeah, man. So I'll let you guys go. I'm gonna close off this live stream, and I hope you were able to take away something from it. I guess since I'm doing YouTube videos, I have to do the obligatory like and subscribe if this helps you out. And I'm gonna go eat some dinner and see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna hop on and build a watch list, and if I get around to it, I'll put those names out, which ones made the watch list for tomorrow. All right, guys. See you then.